Mike. So back. So, Benjamin, you're up, baby.
All right. That was pretty cool. I gotta just say, Cody, that was pretty awesome. So my tip is taking a divergent from the PowerShell stuff and in SQL SQL Server Management Studio. So let's see. The first thing there is a view named v_group map, and group map has all of the information about your hardware inventory. And so what I've done is I have some hotkeys so that if I know I want to just look at something, I can just quickly run that. So, and I'll do a little bit with this. And so what this really looks like is in your tools options. If you go down to keyboard, can you actually see that? Or is it, I tried to make it bigger.
But it is a little small. If you have zoom it.
This is, I have it on my presenter box, but not this box. I realized once we started. So, bear with me on this. But in here, you have these shortcuts that you can assign. And when you first install it, the very first one, Alt F1, is automatically there, but none of these other ones are there. And what I've done is if I use Control plus the number 3, it will select top 100 star from whatever I've got highlighted. And so what it really does is whatever is here, whatever you have highlighted, when you click on that, it will just insert that into the select top 100 star from, right? So that even means that you can do a where in here. And I'm going to look for, when we do custom inventory stuff, we append it with that HWINV_. So if I then highlight that and hit Control plus 3, it automatically just runs that SQL query for me. And, and then I can have that in here. And let's say I take these and the reason why that's kind of helpful is if I'm like, oh, well, I want to know, I don't even know what I did with this. So if I run that again without having to write the whole query out, it automatically grabs the first 100 of them, and I can look at what that data looks like and whatnot. The other things that you can do with it is, and where it really comes in handy is if you have like a long query, and I guess I can grab this. This is something I was working on the other day. So if I have this and I'm like, I don't want to run the whole thing, I just want to look at that table, I can, do that again, and I can just kind of see what's in there. That's where it kind of comes in handy, especially when you're looking at a bigger query with like SQL, with config manager data. There's a lot of joins and stuff in there. You want to just look at it, right? Where that also comes in handy is if instead of looking at the top 100, if I wanted to look at that definition, right? I'm like, well, what's in that view definition? If I have it set to Control F1, and it will actually script out what the view definition is, right? So you can look and see where that data comes from. And again, that's up in your tools, options, query shortcuts, and these are the ones that I have. SP help text is in there, SP who, because people use SP who a lot. SP lock, select top 100 star from, and then space, and then let's select space, because sometimes if I've got a query and there's something like, your get date, if I were to run this, normally it's going to puke. And so instead, if I just hit Control F5, it just runs it for me. And I actually have to switch it back to that. Then it runs it for you. So that's my quick tip, is to figure out what you use a lot, in your queries, or when you're just trying to figure out something in SQL, and add that into those query shortcuts so it goes a lot faster.
That's a great tip for those that spend a lot of time in